I never imagined my downfall would begin with a car loan, but there I was, sitting in the freezing driveway of my own home, breath visible in the cold air, heart burning with betrayal. It started on a regular January evening when Megan, my sister-in-law, came over with tears in her eyes and desperation in her voice. She had just finalized her divorce, her credit was shot, and her car was on its last legs. She pleaded for help. She said she needed a co-signer, just for a few months, just until she got back on her feet. I looked at Dana, my wife. I expected her to say no immediately. I expected her to remind Megan of boundaries. But instead, Dana gave me that quiet, familiar look, the one that said, "She's family, help her." Against my better judgment, I agreed. At the dealership, Megan picked out a modest SUV. She promised this wasn't charity, promised she'd never miss a payment. When we signed the papers, she hugged me tight and said, "I won't forget this." But she did. Oh, she forgot real fast. At first, things seemed fine. The payments were being made. Then I got the first notice. One payment missed. Then another. I called Megan. No answer. Texted her. Nothing. I covered the payments to protect my credit. Twice. I figured maybe she was struggling, maybe she'd catch up. But then came something far worse. I received a credit card bill. Except, I never opened a new credit card. I didn't even recognize the bank. $6,000 in charges. Furniture, electronics, flights, even a luxury coffee machine. I pulled my credit report and found not one, but 2 credit cards opened in my name. Both maxed out. Both traced back to Megan's address. I showed Dana everything, every charge, every document. She looked at it and said, "You should have been more careful." No apology. No anger at her sister. Just blame. Something inside me cracked in that moment. I realized then my wife had known. Maybe she didn't help Megan do it, but she didn't stop it either. And when the truth surfaced, she chose silence over loyalty. I sat outside that night in my car for 2 hours, staring into nothing. That's when I made my decision. If they weren't going to protect me, I would protect myself. I spent the next few weeks gathering evidence, bank records, application forms, delivery addresses. I filed a police report. The fraud unit opened an investigation. Megan's employer, I served them wage garnishment paperwork. She was fired a week later. Dana was furious. She said I humiliated her sister, that I could have talked to her first. Talked? When she ignored every call and disappeared with my identity? No. I wasn't going to play nice anymore. I was going to expose everything. But it didn't stop there. A month later, I got a notice from our mortgage lender. A home equity line of credit had been opened, $25,000. Again, I never signed for it. This time, I traced the IP address. It matched Megan's old apartment, same address as the fraudulent credit cards. I went to the police again. This time, they looped in the DA. They started looking deeper. Dana was questioned. She claimed she just signed some papers Megan gave her, not knowing what they were. She said she didn't think it would hurt anything. I filed for divorce the next morning. That's when I took it public. I posted everything. No names, just facts. But everyone in our circle knew. Dana's reputation began to unravel. She lost her job after someone forwarded the post to HR. The women's shelter she volunteered at dropped her. Even her friends turned away. I didn't celebrate it, but I didn't regret it either. Then, the twist I didn't see coming, Megan's ex-husband reached out. He'd seen the post. He said, "She did the same thing to me. I just never had the guts to press charges because of the kids." He handed over documents, forged applications, altered pay stubs, screenshots of old texts. It was the final nail. With his help, the DA filed felony charges. Megan was arrested, tried, and convicted of identity theft, fraud, and forgery. She got 9 years. Dana wasn't charged with the same severity. She claimed she was manipulated, but she did get a felony record for knowingly submitting false documents. No prison, but she lost everything else. I sued them both. Megan never showed up in court. Dana tried to fight it, but the evidence was overwhelming. I won. A $67,000 judgment. I knew they couldn't pay it. That wasn't the point. I garnished Dana's wages. The first check she sent me was $89. I framed it. It hangs on my wall, right next to Megan's. I sold the house, moved across town, changed my number. I started therapy. I worked on healing, on forgiving myself for trusting the wrong people. I found peace, not in revenge, but in truth, in justice. People say family is everything, but family doesn't lie, steal, and destroy your life. Family doesn't watch you burn and then ask why you're screaming. I don't speak to either of them anymore. I never will. And you know what? I sleep like a baby, because the moment I stopped defending myself to people who never respected me was the moment I took my life back. I don't make peace with liars anymore. I bury them, one truth at a time. Sometimes burning the bridge is the only way to stop them from following you.